All right, guys. So, in the world of preparedness, there's this concept called everyday carry. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, everyday carry for coronavirus. This is what I'm doing. Maybe there's some flaws in it. If there are, let me know, please, so I don't die, and let others know so that they don't die too. But the concept of everyday carry is just like what you carry on yourself every day so that you're prepared for whatever situations you see yourself getting into and needing these items for. It's kind of popular, I guess, in like preppers, like people who prep for like apocalypses and stuff. But there's also people that show their everyday carry, like vloggers that show like their bags of camera gear that they bring with them every day, and pool shooting. These are just things that I partake in. Shooting pool, like your bag of pool sticks and chalk and glove and whatever you need. Thing with that mask, I have to catch my breath. So the goal of my coronavirus preparation and what I'm doing is to not only not catch it myself, but to also prevent other people from catching it. Say that I'm out somewhere, like say that I have a couple errands to run, say that I'm going to the grocery store, then the gas station. Well, I carry this rubbing alcohol, 91% isopropyl alcohol with me to disinfect my hands between places that I go. This way, if I do touch something at one place, I'm not transmitting it, carrying it over to the next place that I go. That'll do a lot for cross-contamination and not getting someone sick accidentally. This is just because I had a hair transplant and my hair is all like still a little bit screwy, but so that's not particularly a part of it. So then the purpose of this bandana around my face, as far as I know from what I've read and everything, is that the coronavirus, so there's these N95 respirators that you can put on your face that should help with say if someone coughs on you or sneezes on you, whatever, that should catch the respirator should catch the virus and not get it into your throat and lungs and all that. This doesn't do that. It doesn't protect you if someone sneezes on you or coughs on you or anything like that. Maybe it does a very little bit, but that's not the reason that I wear this. The reason that I wear this is to prevent myself, say that I'm out and I touch something without realizing it that is infected. This will prevent me from then touching my nose or touching my mouth, excuse me, or touching my mouth or anything like that. So the purpose with that is just to not get myself sick. Also, I've read that say that you do contract the coronavirus, that there's a 5 to 14 day incubation period. So this is a period where you have the virus, but you're not showing any symptoms or anything. So people like me, other people that don't have the, other people that appear perfectly normal can still have the virus. So I tend to treat everyone or try to treat everyone as infected. These things, one thing that I lack that I should be doing is washing these every single time, like every day after I use them. Also, what I read is that so surface contamination, the virus can stay on surfaces about a week before it dies or goes away or whatever. And then on clothing and I guess porous materials, it's only like a couple hours or a day or whatever. So I don't think I particularly need, well, I mean, I have 3 of these. And I switch them out to a different color every day. I have a blue one, a gray one, and a black one. So I'm probably okay with that, but it should also be like a good idea to wash them every single day as just an extra step or whatever. Also, when I sanitize my hands between locations, as soon as I get home, I have kind of a decontamination process, I guess, which isn't that big of a deal or whatever. It's nothing special, but I just get home, immediately wash my hands. Like I use my back door now, which is right there, and then my kitchen is right there, and I just wash my hands. So sorry for this weird lighting. Usually I'm facing this way and sitting down with it or whatever. But the next thing I want to show you guys is so I have this main door to my apartment, which is just outside of that door right here. And this main door, I live in a 4-apartment house. So there's an apartment on this side, an apartment on this side, and then also right next to me, an apartment right here. And I put a note on the door telling my neighbors not to use this door, it can get you sick and all that. And the reason behind that is to prevent cross-contamination. So say that like I don't want stuff to spread between the 4 apartments. And say that I contract something and touch the doorknob, and then the neighbor touches the doorknob or something like that. So far everyone that I've been watching has listened to it and has stopped using the door. We all have a second door that we can enter and leave from, so it's not that big of a deal. The main hassle is like our mailboxes are outside of that door, so we have to use our back door or side door to walk around the house to get the mail. The other thing I have on my list that I'm not sure if I talked about yet, but there's only like a little bit of rubbing alcohol in here. This is what I carry around with me, and I've had this because it's just a general all-purpose cleaner that I use to clean like the windows of my car or computer CPUs to get thermal paste off or anything like that. So I had bottles of this laying around, but I only carry a little bit of it at a time because say that I leave this somewhere, say that it gets stolen from me or whatever, I'll have more at home. Right now, like I haven't been to stores in about a week, but last Monday, so a week ago, they were all sold out of rubbing alcohol and hand sanitizer and all that. That's why I only carry a little bit with me. So the last thing that I carry, and this doesn't really have anything to do with coronavirus, is just some knives. And the reason for that actually doesn't have anything to do with the coronavirus, like I said. Recently, a couple days ago, some guy came to my house, banging on my doors, threatening to kill me and rape me and stuff. And that didn't go over so well. So I ended up trying to purchase a gun and was declined that for some reason that I have to figure out. But so I ended up just buying knives to be able to defend myself because this guy was pretty fucking fucked up. But also with these knives, say that things do get really bad, like there's shortages of supplies and there's fights going on to get supplies, like think of like Black Friday or something like that. If there's a situation where you need to defend yourself, if someone's trying to rob you for hand sanitizer, rubbing alcohol or whatever, I think that you should be able to defend yourself in that situation, but you shouldn't use your knives or weapons to rob someone else, only to defend yourself. Even like say that there's no supplies in the store and you're left without it, I wouldn't rob anyone because there's alternatives, there's other stores you can go to. You can even make your own alcohol or go to the liquor store and buy alcohol. Like if you buy like a high proof alcohol, like one with no sugar in it and whatever, you could use that as sanitizer too. And you can also use fire to sanitize stuff as well. If worse comes to worse, like some stuff you can't really sanitize with fire, like clothing or whatever, but you use soap for that, and you should have soap with you already, so it should be fine. So another thing that I want to talk about that I was thinking about yesterday is immunity to this virus. Say that I'm being like so prepared that I don't catch the virus, then that means that I'm not going to get immune to it, as opposed to someone who had it and got immune to it by having it. That's a risk that I'm running by being so prepared to not catch this virus and everything, that I may get it in the future. Right now, we don't know if it's helpful to do that. Right now, we don't know if there's even an immunity to it, or if it dies off in humans and needs a reservoir. So a reservoir is, say, like an animal that carries the disease or whatever. I just wanted to point that out. I don't particularly understand the whole thing yet, but But I just wanted to point out that that is like one thing, like maybe it might be better for me to catch the disease and stay home and wait it out until I get better or whatever. This way I'm immune to it, but we don't really know if that's a good idea to do or not. All right, and now the final thing that I want to talk about is just my food and stuff. I went out and spent like $160 on food on Monday, which should hold me off for quite a while. But what I'm doing with my food is just eating it in the order that it expires first. So like your milks, I also like wrapped up my like raw meat, like ground beef and ground sausage and stuff that I bought. I wrapped my meats up real well with saran wrap in the freezer. This way it doesn't, this way it lasts longer in the freezer and everything. But yeah, I'm just trying to eat my food in the order that it expires first. This way, like I'm not wasting any food or anything. Man, I might need to finally get new camera batteries or something. This is on 1 bar and it's like a brand new charged battery. Like I have a battery charging station right there, which like charges all my batteries. So they're pretty much on the charger constantly. But, oh, sorry about that. I need to be cognizant of the microphone noise. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Like I said, let me know what you think, if I'm missing any steps, or just give your thoughts down in the comments and everything. This is just like the plan that I took into action. I don't know, like I live by myself, so I don't know like what to do if you're with a family or anything, other than like just make sure that they sanitize their hands, warn them to let them know how serious it is. Like some people don't take this shit seriously. Like I was taking a taxi home from getting my windows retinted in the BMW on Thursday, and the guy that took me in the taxi was like we were talking about, and he's like, we're all gonna die from something, like what's the big deal, we're all gonna die one day. And I'm like, all right, I know I need to stay away from you because you're not taking this serious at all. So keep your eyes out for people that say stuff like that and that don't take this seriously, because they're going to be higher risk of you contracting this stuff. Oh, what was I getting at? I was talking about like families. I guess like just make sure that everyone knows how serious this is and everything in your family, and make sure you have like a decontamination thing for when people come into your house, so that if anyone contracts anything outside, if they didn't sanitize their hands while they were outside or whatever, they're not bringing it into the house. And the last thing that I was thinking of is like, if like a woman's pregnant or whatever, she would have to go to the hospital to birth that child. Usually, I think that's where, for the most part, births take place. And hospitals are going to be breeding grounds for the coronavirus, because any little sickness or any little symptom that people have, people are going to want to go to the hospital to get tested and make sure that they're not sick and whatever. So I don't know like what to do if you're a woman, but that's just something you need to think about. But all right, that's the end of this video. I just wanted to make a quick video to let you guys know what I'm doing and all that. I'm kind of rambling now, but take care, thank you, and goodbye. All right, so the last thing I want to mention, and I just spoke like 2 minutes about this and it wasn't even recording, so now I'm like discouraged. But the last thing I want to mention is to talk to your neighbors. I gave my neighbors my email address and phone number with the goal of like just being able to plan together. Like one thing that I think about is, since I'm single and don't have any family or anything, if I'm sick at home, I'm gonna have to stay inside, and I was hoping like I would have someone to talk to, or have someone like talk to through text message or email or whatever, and also like drop off food if I needed food or anything like that. But they kind of don't. They're kind of like separate, I guess. They don't really talk too much. But I also like offered my help to them and everything with all that, in case they needed help or anything like that. But it's also a good idea, if you can, to also talk to your neighbors to figure out like any of the risks that might be going on with them, or figure out what's going on. Like my one neighbor right next to me here, He has a brother coming in from Florida on, I think, tomorrow and the next day and the next day, something like that. So that's like a travel thing, which is a concern. Yeah, so I know that that's a risk, but we have separate doors and everything, so it should be okay with spreading it. But I also let him know to wash his hands and everything, especially like he's coming in to see his grandmother, who was diagnosed with lung cancer recently. So there's a possibility of spreading something to his grandmother, and her immune system is weak from the cancer or chemo or whatever. And yeah. All right. Take care. For real. Bye.